Hello and welcome to another episode of Houston Art Tribe. I am Kay Sarver and I am sitting here with Kelly Moran in her really great studio, by the way. And I'm wondering, how long have you been here?
I've been here forever. It's been since 2003.
Wow, longer than I thought.
It's gone through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And the latest, I think Alice and I have been here for probably 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And Alice is the framer here, Valverde. It's Valverde Moran Studio.
Okay.
So, and it's been great. It's been wonderful.
Oh my gosh, it's just, like I was telling you earlier, it's the energy here is so great. Just, and being between Sharon Capriva and Redbud Gallery.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. And it's always a nice surprise to come here and see a show and
we've been trying to keep the doors open once a month.
Yeah, that's just
and sometimes we show other artists, sometimes it's just my art. So we've been trying to make it a destination to come. And
I think it's a good idea, and I love that you do vary it sometimes and bring in other artists. That's always a nice thing too.
Oh well, it's fun. It's fun to work with the artists, and it's it feels good to give back to the art community. To people are so grateful to have a place to show their work.
It's so true. Yeah, that's another topic for discussion someday. Yeah, it's so true. I was going to say, I was thinking about the first time that I saw your work and remember thinking, and I think it might have been DM Allison, but it might have been an art fair too. I've done. I've had art fairs. Both. Yeah, the last art fair was a blast. I showed with 14 Pews, and it was called The Magnificent Seven, and it was 7 women, and we had a panel discussion, and it was feisty, and it was really fun. Oh, I wish I could have seen the panel discussion.
Well, there was maybe 4 or 5 people at the panel discussion, and I was we were set up in this area by the food area, I could see people I knew walk by, and it's like, why aren't you coming over?
Oh my gosh!
I almost had the microphone. I almost started yelling at people. But
oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm sorry, I missed that. Was that the opening day?
No, it wasn't the opening day. The only way I remember the date of it was the day that Kavanaugh was confirmed.
Okay.
And so there were 7 feisty women that were really angry. So it was
what perfect time.
It was funny. It was emotional. It was great. It was a great time.
Oh my gosh! I hope that's on video somewhere.
Oh, I hope not. No.
I would love to see that.
Because Cassandra Thibodeaux is 14 Pews, and she's a video filmmaker.
Yeah.
So she filmed it,
Oh, fabulous. I have to look it up. I know when I first saw your work, anyway, it must have been maybe 5-6 years ago. And I know you've been doing this for a long time, but I just remember the first impression, and I thought, this artist has a great sense of humor. I
think humor is important.
Yeah.
And but it's like the comedy and tragedy mask. I try to work them together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of other deep stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm curious. For lack of a better way to put it, but it's sort of these characters that are sort of reminiscent of paper dolls.
They are paper
dolls. Okay, from the 50s, 60s, or even earlier, I guess.
Even earlier. They go back to the 30s and 40s, I think.
Yeah.
People send me paper dolls. I have a girlfriend in Memphis. She found this treasure trove of paper dolls, and she sent them to me, and they have these personalities that are they've been played with. Like some of them have like arms that I have to repair, and they've been loved and played with, and who knows what.
Oh my gosh, there's so much for me that they stir up. Well, you know, because I don't think nostalgia is the right word, but having grown up in the 50s anyway, you know, there is that imagery that comes to mind. And although I wasn't really big on paper dolls as a kid, that was readily available. And
Right.
So I wonder what led you to that.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
I've always been, it's always been like a fetish that I've been attracted to that sort of imagery out of magazines, and I've collected those things, cookbooks and all sorts of ephemera I've collected over the years, and I was wondering that myself, and I've been a ceramic artist, I've been a painter, I've been all different, I've experimented with all different kinds of mediums, and one day I went to a friend's house that I hadn't seen in a long time, and she had a big collection of my work from like when I was in college, and I looked at this one piece and I was like, oh my God, I was like doing that back then.
Oh wow.
And so I've carried that through all of my different personalities or whatever. And I've just kind of really honed in on it in the past, I'd say past 10 years. I've really used that as a vehicle.
I love all at least what I've seen from looking like on your website or finding other information, how you've let that sort of unfold in various forms, and like your assemblages, I think you call them on your website, which I find so exciting because first of all, you combine these older images from, like you say, paper dolls, magazines, and then you're a printer.
Yeah,
and so you
a printmaker.
Combine that effort with the mixture of other imagery, and I love even seeing the ones with the animal heads, the figures of the animal heads, or
I appropriate those from children's books, and I have one children's book that I've just really appropriated a lot of images, a lot of heads out of. Yeah. And then I combine them with Roy Rogers paper dolls and different paper Blondie. I love Blondie. I have one piece that has Dagwood's tuxedo, and it's just this tuxedo.
Yes, I love that piece.
I like that piece too. It's gone.
I love that. I was really sort of, drooling over some of the work just because I love it. But even the reference to Dale Evans, that combination of sort of Western.
Because we're in Texas, and it's kind of
makes sense.
Part of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I lived in Midland for a while.
Oh,
in West Texas. So that's kind of cowboy country.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's a lot of ranchers out there and oil people and stuff. Yeah.
You did a show I find really fascinating too. It's in Germany.
I did the Helmsen residency.
Okay.
And that's in Helmsen, Germany, and it's near Schlossvadel, which is, they're all really teeny tiny towns. Okay. And Schlossvadel is on the Romanesque Trail, and so the churches there are incredible, and it's very open to Hans Molzberger. It's his place, his residency, and it's this old farm, and it's an amazing place.
Oh my gosh, when I saw the photos of it looked like it was an old church, maybe?
Oh, I had a show in this old church, I can't pronounce it, forgive me. I call it the Monk's Church.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful made in the 1300s church.
goodness.
that in the 60s they made it into a art space, and yeah, I got to I designed some pieces beforehand, and I also got to work on pieces over there. So I designed pieces to go into these niches, and then there was an opening, and it was up for a month, and I did some prints over there, and I've had some prints in the show.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had designed those pieces for that space.
Yeah, I designed them for that space, and but like I said, I also made some prints over there, and they were well received, and I sold a couple, and
they were great. They were just.
It was just so much fun to be there, because it was a lot like where I grew up in the Catskills.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
and actually my grandmother's German, so her family came over from Germany, and there was the feeling there was, it was really interesting.
Yeah, I imagine.
There are monoliths also hidden within the landscape, and I tried to find some. I couldn't find them, but this one museum I didn't have enough time to go look for them.
Yeah.
So it was a really good area.
A lot of history
On the earth, you know, it just felt good. It felt right. It felt like, I know this sounds crazy, but it felt like I'd been there before.
No, I totally relate to that. I'm going to sound crazy too, because I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking too, some of the work that I've seen, well, I guess this is part of your assemblages, but it's very 3D, the approach. Maybe cutouts is what
I have this great scroll saw. It's huge, and I cut the figures out, and I really enjoy that, because really you really have to concentrate so you don't cut off a finger, and it's just I like that's why I like making art, is that you're really focused on what you're doing.
It's true.
And it takes you away from everything, and you're right there, present in the moment.
So true. I think it's a form of meditation, honestly.
Oh, definitely. And printmaking is definitely a form of meditation, because you're trying to repeat something over and over again. Like, I'm working on this set of prints for the Print Matters group. Yeah, we're sending prints doing a portfolio exchange with a group in Colombia.
Oh, how wonderful.
And that's very exciting. And then we're going to show Cindy
Lissica?
Yeah.
Lissica. Okay.
Yes, we're going to show them there.
Oh, wonderful.
And I haven't done an edition in a while. I usually just kind of work. I like to make an original print, just like one print is just a singular print rather than doing an edition.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And using plates on top of plates, and just mixing it all up rather than having to do one single image over and over again.
Yeah. No, that kind of makes sense. It made me wonder too because I wasn't really sure if you work in a series so much, or you just sort of...
Oh yeah, I do work in a series. I usually have, and I try to take what's in the previous series and bring something along to the next one to make it so that if they ever got shown together, it would like flow together.
But that's why I think I had trouble deciphering a series, sort of. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see it, like with the wallpaper backgrounds.
Oh, those are old, yeah.
Are they? Oh, yeah. I love those. See, but I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if there was some sort of chronological order, which I think is good, actually. It's sort of...
Yeah, there's some of the first prints that I did in here.
Oh, nice. So I love those old wallpapers.
Oh, I enjoyed collecting the wallpaper, and that's another thing people started giving me is wallpaper. And they're so much fun. The images that people used to have on the wallpaper were crazy. I mean, that would be crazy to have in your house.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I like the calming kind of walls. I don't like the walls that are like
busy.
Yeah, but I do like busy, because I mean, all my work is kind of very busy.
I think that's good. You express. I mean, you kind of, for instance, you're combining with people and nature, animals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I see that you're sort of making a connection with that. And
yes, well, I think that nature is so important that the way I heal is walking out in the woods. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do. Go to the Arboretum sometimes, but because there's not a whole lot of nature here in Houston. There is actually there is a whole lot of nature, but it's like I ride my bike on the bayou and I see the bald eagle I see all the different birds and everything, but it's a concrete bayou. I like going next to a river. I've lived next to rivers and creeks and stuff, and that's my favorite thing. And then people in nature.
Yeah. Oh, you really see it, and even some of the patterns you use, like I guess there's swallows, the birds. Oh yeah, there's some up there. The
swallows.
Yeah. And I love that you use that as part of the patterns. It just changes everything as you're drawn into each piece to sort of see, oh, and then it's going here, and then I see this now. This.
Yeah, I do put a lot of stuff in there because I think sometimes I feel like I need to entertain people, and I feel like my art is a form of entertainment, but there's all different levels going on there. It can reach people at lots of different levels, and I love it when somebody says, oh, I saw that, I've seen that piece before, but I didn't see that in there. And and I think that's a good thing. Like that one artist that you interviewed, Munez, the McGrath.
Oh, Patrick McGrath Muniz. Yeah,
it's like I look at his work and I just like, oh my God, I just want to sit there and study it.
I know, it's true, and that's kind of what happens in front of your work.
I hope that that would be a great thing to have.
I think it is.
I practice.
I don't know about you, but when I go look at work, sometimes I get overwhelmed with, it's almost like it's emotional. You're absorbing the energy of what the artist is putting out. So I can only go see so much, and then I start to almost shut down.
Oh, I definitely do the same thing. Oh, absolutely. Because I can't, like going to the Louvre, it's like, okay, I can do like 2 rooms maybe. But
Oh my gosh, I know I'd need a month.
Yes, definitely, or more. Yeah, I need years, right, yeah.
Well, I just turning around and looking at these, but the ones too that you have, like you call cutouts, but I've noticed you've placed them on the what looks like the glass.
Oh yeah, sometimes I sandwich something in between plexiglass.
Yeah,
I had some boxes where I sandwiched, like I have one that has a wolf. And I've sandwiched it between plexiglass or glass, and then just kind of put stuff behind it. Yeah. And so that it floats in the foreground.
Creates such a different feeling. I mean, you see the shadow of the wolf.
Yes.
And then almost like you're showing like
a lot of I think my animals are like fairy tale kind of things.
Yeah.
And that was the name of the show in Germany, was Fairy Tales.
Fairy Tales.
And I think the wolf is like the big bad wolf, and I have a couple of pieces about the big bad wolf.
Interesting. Oh yeah.
And then the dogs are protectors. In other images, the dogs are protecting people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I've always had a dog, and I had this one German Shepherd. That if I didn't have that German Shepherd, I don't know if I would be alive today.
I know. I totally.
She really I lived in a bad neighborhood, and nobody bothered me because I had that dog.
Yeah.
And she chased people away and stuff, and that dog showed up on my doorstep.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and she was trained, and she was something. Oh, she was an amazing animal. Yeah.
Good. She found you.
She found me, and she traveled. She traveled all over the country.
That's so cool. I love, I could talk dogs for a while.
Now I have a little wiener dog, and it's a little different.
Yeah.
But he thinks he's a big dog.
Oh, they do. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Having the space and being able to
We
work.
have a Valentine's show coming up here in here.
Oh, you have a Valentine's show
Yeah.
coming up? Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, we have it every year. This is like, I think, the 4th year.
Oh.
And we have artists that make, some people make cards, some people, it's fun. It's just a fun thing. And some people have jewelry, and we have art on the walls. We have all sorts of, a bunch of stuff.
When will that be? Will that be on Valentine's Day?
No, it's
Yeah,
going to be
'cause that's
in conjunction with the next opening.
with the
at
next
Red Light,
opening.
which I think is the 2nd
Okay.
of February.
All
Yeah.
right. I was going to ask you, how often are you in here? Every day or nearly every day?
I try to make it in every day. I don't always make it in every day, but there's always something to do. It seems like whenever I come in, there's just like, I know exactly what to do. I mean, whether it's like cleaning up or if it's, it's a really good group of women here.
Yeah.
We have so much fun, and it's, and there's a lot of love.
Ah, it's so important.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, you need that support group. I think.
Oh yeah, and then some of the women are older women that come through here, and I'm an older woman, but they're like my mentors. It's like I get to hang out with my mentors. I get to hang out with people that are
fabulous. Yeah.
that are so much more experienced than I am, and I can ask for advice or
Yeah.
They're like it's a tribe. It's
It
definitely
is a tribe. I mean, this is at the heart of why I'm even doing this. It's like we do by the nature of what we do work alone generally, but you need that support. You need that connection. It's just vital. And
I've enjoyed opening the studio and having people come in like you, meeting all these different artists, and talking, just yak, talking about all sorts of things and finding out what they're doing. And
that's interesting because I was thinking, in light of a lot of the newer studios that have been opening up around town that artists have been taking on, there is that interaction that they can have with anybody who chooses to come instead of an opening night in a gallery, and that's nice too, but not everybody can talk to the artist that night, and so it's kind of nice that you are able to do that.
But sometimes it's like a fishbowl too.
It is literally. You've got lots of nice windows here.
Because I like to play music when I work. And I like having running space. I like moving around when I'm working.
That's good. So stay active. Maybe that has a lot to do with how your work comes out too. Just
I guess so.
Movement. There's almost movement going on.
There is a lot of movement going on. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. So you've done some too, and that were really sculptural. I mean, I realize the ones on the walls, of course, are, but some that I know you said you did some in boxes.
I did some. I've done some boxes. They're still kind of flat, but did some boxes where I had some figures that I made the box, and the box was like the setting for the figures to stand on, and then the figures can go into the box to be transported. And I think that's I've always liked theater, and when I was in college I did some theater, I did some performance art, and my work study was in the theater. I did the help with the costumes and the sets and lighting and all of that stuff. So I think that kind of influenced.
That sort of gets back to that, when you said that, I like to entertain, or feel like I'm entertaining people through the visual process, which is just a form of communicating. But
it is a communication. But entertaining. But there's also that's kind of on the surface, and then you dig deeper, further into it, and however far you want to go.
No, it's true.
In my art, it's very personal imagery, and I also involve some political things, not a whole lot of political things, but very personal, and I'm always thinking about my family, like my dad passed away this year, and I've done a couple of pieces about him, and also I do a lot of work about my animals, my family, my mom and my grandparents, and in hopes that is like a universal theme that people can relate to.
Definitely can. I mean, I don't know if I would have known it was about your family, but I got the feeling that it's personal. Often get that feeling, and it's just a delight to, just to interact with it in my own. Any viewer, I guess, that would look at the work, will see things maybe.
Yeah, they will see things that they can relate to, and like that piece over there is called Aunt Mary the Traveler, and it's about my Aunt Mary who never got to travel ever, and she had kind of a tragic life, but I've made it so she's had a very wonderful life, because Aunt Mary, she's been to New Orleans, she's been to Plainview, Texas. She's been to all over Houston, so she's been shown a lot, and she's traveled.
I love that you did that. Oh my gosh, it just, it just puts so much more meaning to it, and it already has a lot of meaning just if I knew nothing about the story. But knowing that just makes it all the more.
And it's got some little fighters in there, because she had to be a fighter.
I was looking at that. Yeah, the referencing of I see them now.
And then I use a lot of butterflies, and they're like about transformation. So that's a bit about transformation, and that made me think I've got to do one about my Uncle Donald, because he was a traveler. He was on the St. Mary, was it? He some boat, some big the Elizabeth or something. I don't know.
Okay.
He was the entertainment director.
Interesting.
So he died really young. That's kind of tragic. But I need to do something about him, because he was an interesting person.
How wonderful you do that.
And I think I also have stuff about gender issues in my work.
Yeah. Oh, that's important.
Yeah,
because there is sort of that, with those paper dolls, for instance, to me, what I get sometimes is that time period in the 50s, of course, was sort of a naive, sort of a carefree sort of existence for if you were white.
Yeah, if you're white, yes.
And, it's like I think for many of us, it just reminds me of living in a bubble, really. And but I have a lot of fond memories, not.
Well, I try to take them out of their bubble. I mean, it's sort of like Aunt Mary. I'm making her into something that I want to make her into, and it's the same thing with those images. I try to take them out of that little bubble, because I have this group of teenage figures that have possum heads. And they got, one of them's got a pack of cigarettes. There's I collect those Cracker Jack figures. And one has a little pack of cigarettes, and it's what is that stuff? Resin. So it's resin, and then the pack of cigarettes is stuck to the midsection.
Yes.
And then the other one, and they all have little clock parts that are, the male have clock parts that are penis.
Yes, I was thinking, and I was trying to enlarge the, that's really
that
good.
was in the big show. The one set of them was in the big show. It was called Teenage Time Bomb. And so those teenagers, they're all very carefree, like you said.
Yeah.
But they were smoking cigarettes back then. They were having sex back then.
Oh yeah.
And it's not in the public record. Nobody admitted to it, I guess.
I know. Yeah. We just didn't talk about it.
Just didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about a lot of things.
No.
But I enjoy taking that out of that context, and some of the figures are like, oh my God, they're very Some of them don't look male or female.
Yeah, I like that too.
Like
that
the boy figures don't have penises.
Yeah, it's like the way they were drawn.
And the girls are very sexy. And it's weird.
With perfect little,
little breasts.
Yeah. those hard bras, I'll tell you.
Those pointy bras.
Pointy bras
Crazy.
of that time period. No, that's brilliant. You do that. I love those pieces.
I do a whole collage in the background, and then I collage on top of that, and then I collage on top of that, and then I sand it down, and I collage on top of that, and then I put resin on top of that. So there are many layers, and some of the background comes through, and you don't get a complete view of what it is, but you get an idea of what it is, and they're all vintage collection of postcards and magazines and advertisements and
really nice.
I have a big collection. Somebody gave me a collection of stickers that you put on your trunk for travel.
Oh yeah,
and there's like a bunch of countries that don't exist anymore.
Oh my gosh, that says a lot right there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is interesting, boy. The only thing constant is change.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I really love them, and these almost look hand painted. Some of the cutouts, are they prints or did you paint them on?
Those are hand done.
Hand done. Okay.
Yeah, I went. That image is something that I just started doing, and I think I see a lot of artists do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now that I've done it myself.
Oh.
And it's a very meditative thing, and it's like I just don't think about anything sort of thing.
That.
You just kind of let it flow out, and they've turned into like they can be roadways, they can be passages in the brain. Have you ever looked at synapses? The synapses, the images of synapses in the brain, and tree roots, and just all sorts of things.
I even get imagery of sort of Celtic symbolism, or I don't know, just something primal.
Yes, it's very primal,
and that's Celtic's not exactly primal, but older imagery, like but they're wonderful, and I still just one of these days I'm gonna have one of your pieces.
Oh yeah, everybody in Houston has. I mean, my presents are so cheap. No, and give them away.
That's a nice thing. I mean, I know. That's a real controversial thing, actually. I think that a lot of artists are going through right now, just pricing. Maybe that's always been the case, but
it's always been the case.
There's a lot of artists in the Houston area, a lot of good work, and I've seen that written up a few times. It's like, can Houston support the artists, here? I don't know, but it's...
Yeah, I don't know either, but I think... I don't know. I think you have to have another job, but I think that there are different areas in Houston that you can tap into. Like you can use up your collectors. They've got like 10 pieces. You can go find another group.
That's true.
Because there's so many people, and there's so many houses being built. But I think lots of people say, "Oh, I'd rather buy a television than a piece of art."
Isn't that crazy?
But that is crazy. But I have people that walk in here and just say, "Oh, I gotta have it."
I totally understand.
And I'm like, "Are you really?"
Yeah.
I was like so surprised.
I know. But I felt that way before, haven't you? I mean, see something and you're just, oh my gosh.
But I have a lot of art in my house. I can't pack any more in there.
It's tough. Me too. I end up, actually, usually it's trade-offs with other artists.
I do a lot of trade-offs. Yeah. But that's me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'm there too, thank you so much for allowing me to come into your studio.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it, and I'm so proud to be part of the Art Tribe.
Yay! I'm so happy you are. I've admired your work for, well, it feels like years, and was happy when you were in here because it was nice to come in and periodically talk with you, and now having you here seems appropriate.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed the pieces that you've produced through this. They've been wonderful to see, and I know a lot of people are looking at them and
I'm hoping they're enjoying them, and that reminds me, I need to say to the viewers to do thank you so much for watching and for liking and subscribing, and do please subscribe if you haven't. It really helps to give us a wider audience. Literally, that's how YouTube works. So the more subscribers, the more viewing we get, and that's really important because that's what this is about. Artists getting more recognition in the Houston area. So thank you, ma'am, very much, and bye to the audience.